thought you'd seen it all. The cheers, the tears, the dramas, even the showers. Yes, Big Brother was always watching. But tonight, it's our turn. Over the next hour, we'll take you behind the scenes to unlock some of the secrets behind the house and the housemates that captivated a nation. Well, it all finished 2 weeks ago. Big Brother, the show that consumed our lives for 3 whole months, came to a dramatic conclusion on this very stage. But enough of winners and housemates for the moment. How are you coping without your daily dose of Big Brother? Look, chill. It was only a television show. Well, actually, we know Big Brother was much more than that. It was an addiction, a lifestyle, a national obsession as we followed the housemates' every move, listened to their every word. There wasn't a thing that went on that we didn't know about. But actually, that's not quite true. I can reveal tonight that there were lots of things Big Brother saw and heard that, for all sorts of reasons, you didn't. Yes, like every one of us, Big Brother had secrets. And tonight, we reveal the inside story. The inside story of how the winner, Ben Williams, nearly wasn't chosen at all. How the nation's favourite housemate, the gentle giant from Sydney, was moved in and out of the chosen 12 right up to the final minute. Nearly 10,000 hopefuls responded to Big Brother's invitation to surrender their privacy and offer their minds and bodies up for a 3-month stay in Australia's most public sharehouse. 1,000 videotapes were sent in.
Hi, my name's Ben. I'm 21 years old and I'm single and I live with my father, so it's just the two of us. Most of the time I'm in the irrigation business here, doing a bit of labouring and putting watering systems together. And that can be quite rewarding and it has its ups and downs, but that's what I do most of the time, and I also study and I work in nightclubs.
There was really only one rule. Somehow, you had to get noticed.
Now, if you guys are expecting me to come on your program, it's got to be wheat picks, or I guess some muesli, alright? I might settle for some Nutri-Grain or something like that, but I am a personal trainer, so I've got to be fit and healthy.
Well, I'm off for work. I've got the gear in the back. Here I go. Wish me luck.
I'm extremely dedicated because I was up doing this bloody video till 5 o'clock in the morning last night.
You guys are in it for the money, so am I. I can give you highest ratings you've ever seen.
If your tape or application form impressed, you're invited to present in person at auditions held around the country.
I said this to a guy the other night when I was wearing this outfit, and I said, I'm going to wear this to Big Brother.
I think there's still a certain level of intimacy that you get from bad sex which you fundamentally crave.
We'll tell you his secret a little later. Big Brother was already watching very closely as the housemate hopefuls played team games to see how they interacted with their peers.
Just technically this is the winner for the highest structure.
The ones that impressed were taken aside for a chat. And what revealing chat some of them turned out to be.
I would like to make a statement that if I am one of the lucky people chosen, I know you've got a lot of other people to see, that I reckon I'll stick around till one of the last few. Then it'll just be chance, or you probably hear this from everyone. Someone after me will probably say it, someone before me probably said it. But I honestly have a belief in myself that I can go close to winning, go close to winning, go close to winning.
In Melbourne, a young lad named Blair wasn't nearly as confident.
I really don't know my motivation at the moment. Basically, I go into things for an experience.
After the auditions, another shortlist was drawn up. If you were on it, things were getting serious.
Hello, Todd. It's Marnie here from Big Brother again, your new best friend. Now, you have been successful from the audition that you attended the other day.
I couldn't believe it. I thought I was forgotten about, to tell you the truth.
Now, at the audition, remember you signed a consent form so that we could check your police record. And we also mentioned to you about some medical and psychological testing.
It was pretty daunting, and especially when the day that I went in to do my urine sample, I actually tested positive to an opiate with that one, and that just shocked me, you know, partly because I'm completely drug-free, which a lot of people didn't understand because I had dreadlocks. They thought I all smoked pot. As I was going to the doctors, I was actually eating poppy seed bread. So, yeah, if you're ever going for a urine sample, don't eat poppy seed bread. It's a fact.
At the Perth auditions, the manager of a local strip club had impressed immediately.
About being famous?
Famous. Call it famous, but I'd say well known more than famous. Anyone that gets on TV is well known. You know, I can't even imagine me having to sign autographs or anything like that. I just think it's just so funny that someone will think I'm famous. So I'm pretty I'm going to be famous, oh my lord. I'll wait and see when it happens.
Sarah Marie was always in. She was always going to have a place in every cast we constructed. I think there was a Sarah Marie place.
Sarah Marie's selection may have been set in stone, but that wasn't the case for the rest of the Big Brother cast.
Blair's always been a bit of a showman, so I don't think Blair will have any problem at all handling being an identity.
Blair, we were concerned a little bit about his age. He was only 19 when he went into the house, and there was a concern that, given the generally older age group who were in the house, that he might not be able to stand it.
And this is
With only a few weeks to go, there were still many more maybes than definites. It was time for some more screen tests, secret sessions for the Big Brother producers.
It should just be something different. It'll be a different experience. If I become famous, I mean, I don't know if I really want to become famous anyway. You know, it'll all blow over.
That's the thing, like with the whole nudity thing. I wonder if you don't have to get your gear off. Like you could work around it, couldn't you, if you wanted to?
To describe me, very loud, never shut up, hysterically funny, great fun to be with.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a genetic engineer or an astrophysicist, but I thought that was a little bit boring, so I became a dominatrix.
Try and boost the fun.
Most of the participants had by now guessed they were on the shortlist. A few could already smell success.
Well, I normally get on with most people, you see, but I'm sure they'll throw a few people in there that you bound to not get on with very well. But apart from that, I reckon, yeah, I'll probably be a pretty good team player.
I love playing pool. I'm not that great, but I like the activity as such. I think it's really nice and social.
This is Kira, and I'm really going to miss this little girl. She's a psycho ball of fluff, and yeah, she's great, and she's got sharp teeth. Ugh.
Pretty bored at work, sort of thing. Decided I want to get out, try something different. I thought I could do it actually too, after 6 years at boarding school and working in the country, in the vineyards, in the middle of nowhere, living by myself and live with other people. I thought, easy way to make some bucks, get my head on telly, that sort of thing.
But despite their confidence, some of those filmed will never know just how close they came to missing out altogether. That's because the producers weren't just looking for the right characters. They were looking for the right combination of characters.
It's good news. You're a Big Brother housemate. I have good news for you, very good news. Oh my God, she's screaming so much I can't hear.
I was out in Fremantle at the docks handing out flyers to sailors to come to the strip club. I've had all these sailors around me going, "Rrr," and Marnie's going, "You're on Big Brother," and I'm like going, "What? Oh my God, I can't believe it."
Hello, is that Blair? Hi Blair, it's Marnie from Big Brother.
And which of the chosen 12 came the closest to not being in?
Being watched 24 hours a day to me would be like heaven, I reckon.
Well, yes, we can reveal that Blair came within a whisker of missing out. But the person who is luckiest of all to have ever made it to the house is...
He looks like a rugby fan.
You guessed it.
Hello. How are you? Good, how are you?
How are you? There was another character in particular who we thought was the same as Ben, and depending on who else was in the cast, it was either Ben or this other character. Of course, history has it that Ben's the one who made it and Ben's the one who won.
Ironically, that other character was at the same Sydney audition as Ben and shared the same surname, Corrie Williams. Corrie, your life right now could have been so very different.
The interesting thing about Big Brother is that nice guys tend to win, and Ben's a genuine nice guy.
Secrets. After the break, the secret that helped keep the housemates sane. 12 people staring at an 85-day stay in a house shut off from the world. It was all smiles on the first night, but everyone knew there would be trying times ahead as the pressures of confinement and isolation set in. There were 23 cameras to monitor everything that could be seen in the housemates' new home. But how would Big Brother know what was going on in their minds? The housemates' regular counselling sessions with the Big Brother psychologist were the only things that were off limits to the cameras.
Sorry.
How are you, Lisa?
Oh,
You're upset.
yeah. I was wondering if I could speak with Carmel.
One of the producers would ring me and say that one of the housemates wanted to speak with me, and we would arrange a time. We would meet, or at least arrange a time to speak that day over the phone.
Just a bit, emotional, that's all.
After a couple of weeks, the reality of being shut off from the world with a group of strangers had well and truly hit home. As tensions rose, so did the visits to the diary room, the ones you didn't see.
Talking to Carmel, I think I've said before, was like having a night out. Someone in the outside world, it wasn't being taped, you didn't have microphones on, it was a private conversation. You could really voice your concerns without sounding like you had serious problems, and you could kind of say to her, look, I'm feeling this way, and it was almost like talking to her was almost a way of having your behaviour justified. You say, is this normal? And she'd go, yeah, that's normal.
In the Big Brother psychologist, the housemates had found a trusted and reliable friend. But in the Big Brother house, they had also an ever-present enemy, boredom.
Not very many people know this, but I used to go shopping with my friends and my sisters in my mind and do things. Like I wouldn't be in the house, I'd just lay there and go somewhere else. And I felt like I was there, just daydreaming.
We used to make a joke all the time saying that that the world had been invaded by aliens and that they'd abducted the whole Big Brother crew. The rest of the world had been blown up and we were basically being left as an experiment in the house so that these aliens could watch us. Because for all we knew, that could have happened. Anything could have happened in there.
Oh, that's it. Oh, that's it. Oh, no. Did it go? Security guard, come on. Come on, mate.
They began to crave any response from the outside world.
You just get bored and maybe a ball would go over the fence, so you'd start yelling to the security, and it'd give you half an hour of pleasure talking to them. Come on, kick it back, come on, boys. And one time a ball went over, you could hear the guy walking down the street, walking down the footpath, bouncing it, and kicked it to one of his mates, and it went hit one of the side walls, and we were just wetting ourselves. Come on, boys, give it back.
Hello, we've lost our ball.
I can see it. I dropped a couple of cigarettes outside as well.
You don't understand. We don't have anything else.
I guess their teasing of the cameras, I believe it is the housemates' attempt to try and get some, communication with the outside world. So a little windscreen wiper on a camera means that someone really is listening to them and is out there and interested in them.
The housemates' desire for contact with someone from outside the compound saw them strike up an unusual relationship with one of the security staff. Once a week on eviction night, the man they called Phil Collins, because of his likeness to the rock star, would be greeted like a long-lost friend. There was even a plot to make him a temporary housemate.
I'd heard some dialogue of them actually plotting to pull me in. I had wind of this about 30 seconds before that eviction, so there was no way that I was actually going to touch them because, as I said, they were going to pull me in.
That was the only face from the outside world, and that was a regular face. Every Sunday night, everyone wants to jump up and shake Phil by the hand. No disrespect to the person leaving the house. It was just like, Phil, Phil, Phil. And he'd stand there and he wouldn't do much, and there wasn't many reactions, but he started getting these cheesy grins on his face.
One of the first issues to put psychological pressure on the housemates was the question of nudity, despite the fact that all 12 knew exactly what they were letting themselves in for.
From day one, I shower with my knickers and my bra on.
Yes.
So, so does Lisa.
Yeah.
Sarah Marie doesn't care.
Yeah.
She goes as she is. So, if you want to put your back to it, you stand here. If you stood with your back to the external camera in the bedroom as the door opened, you'd basically have the door opening and you'd have a corner. And if you put your back to that camera, then you could get changed under your dressing gown without the camera seeing you from the front.
Your choice, coming in here, you hide in the corner.
No, I don't. I hide in the corner to get changed. I put my robe on. I turn my back to the camera because I don't want the camera seeing
You have a blemish on your
boobs.
skin, you will hide in the corner.
If I have a blemish on my skin, I choose not to go up to the mirror in front of the camera and squeeze.
Exactly. You hide yourself
what's the problem?
away.
So I don't squeeze my spots?
No, don't get...
Yeah, but what does it matter if I don't squeeze my
nakedness,
spots?
that's not
It's
spots.
ridiculous.
The point of coming into this house is to
live in this house.
to be yourself and expose yourself.
Right.
To what you're comfortable with.
And that's what she's comfortable with.
Yeah, Pete. I just couldn't understand why it mattered to him, you know, like what the big deal was. And I sort of felt just because I was being different to the group, different to the norm, in doing that they were he was sort of trying to railroad me into doing something that I really didn't feel comfortable doing.
Apparently we were in the shower and there's a cameraman like 3 inches away from you. So that would have been probably harder for them. Wouldn't see some pretty ugly sights in that shower, I think.
Had the cameras not have been there and I was living with 6 boys, I can tell you right now I would not be showering without any clothes on with 6 boys in a normal household situation, so I'm not about to do it just because I'm on telly.
You know, if you're going to go on a show like this, you have to be prepared that you're going to be, you know, naked all over the internet or... You know, what the whole concept of the show is. So I went in there going, well, I've chosen to do this and I just have to accept the way things are. I never was really concerned about shower or toilet.
Pretty paranoid about going to the toilet for the first few days. I mean, we thought all that was going to be aired too. You know, we had no idea.
One of the things we actually had to consider was something called performance anxiety. And as you can imagine, if there's a camera in the toilet, you probably won't feel like having a bowel movement because, you know, you're aware that somebody's watching you. And we actually had some stand-ins for a rehearsal period for the house. And we had to send laxatives in because they found it very difficult to go with all the cameras watching them. Although we don't show any footage from the toilet, but it was just a thought in the back of their heads, the camera's watching me. And, you know, it's like stage fright, they just couldn't go.
After the break, the secret hate campaign against Johnny.
And I have to say, had that ball come into the house, it probably would have personally spun me out.
Secrets. The exact location of the Big Brother house, hidden away in bushland in a corner of the Dreamworld theme park, was supposed to be a secret. But the huge interest in the program ensured it would be a secret that wasn't kept for very long. One of the earliest scares was a failed publicity stunt which saw a light plane and a helicopter buzz the house at low altitude.
It's the first time it's happened.
It's a bit odd that they're just loitering there, isn't it?
There was a plane sort of hovering around low, and just all the planes were kept at a certain distance, but this one was low and was hovering, and go, oh, imagine if a parachutist came.
Gordy spotted him as he was coming down and he yelled out, and a few of us ran out there.
Parachuters!
Parachuters! Parachuters!
He missed the target.
He missed the target.
Yeah.
He went over there. He'll be arrested, that poor bugger.
This is Big Brother. Would all contestants return to the main living area of the house?
The parachutist had tried to drop a box of ice creams into the garden. The offending missile landed on the roof. Police were called and the skydiver was taken away for questioning. Despite the potential danger to housemates, other people were being tempted to try similar stunts.
I know that one organisation had $10,000 out as prize money to see if you could interrupt an eviction program, and there have been others that have certain dollar figures on them to try and get something inside the house. But that's why I've had dogs there and 24-hour surveillance for the 4 months.
Other attempts to reach the house or housemates were not revealed during the making of the show for security reasons. Like the missile that was hurled over 2 of the outer fences during the time, early in the program, when some people were portraying Johnny as Johnny Rotten. Luckily, it fell short of its target.
Apparently there was a football that had, that was going to say Johnny Backstabber or Johnny Rotten on it. And I have to say, had that ball come into the house, it probably would have personally spun me out, not to mention the rest of the housemates. It's actually amazing how one small piece of information like that can actually really throw a spanner in the works. So it was a good thing that it didn't come in, especially considering it's not true.
By the end of the program, there had been numerous attempts to infiltrate the house. None was successful.
You just hit your head. I saw you do that.
Big Brother's concern for the safety of the group didn't end with security. Procedures were also in place in case of sickness or a serious accident in the house.
We'd set up a special emergency procedure. We'd got ambulances in place. We had private treatment rooms. We had all the specialists. We'd already spoken to them prior to the show beginning, and we'd established a procedure should anything happen to the housemates. We have doctors on call who would come to house visit in the middle of the night.
Oh, one hand's always going to hurt.
Both hands, you'll hurt yourself.
Two hands down.
The planning was put to the test early when, after just 3 days, Gemma injured her wrist.
Hang on.
Hello, Josie speaking. Oh dear, so has the wrist started to swell?
Is that sore? If you've broken a bone, there's no way in a pink fit I could do that to your hand.
She hasn't broken it. What about fracture?
No, I had a fracture, same thing.
I've just strained
it. No way, that's fine.
Okay,
Just keep ice on it just so it doesn't swell.
Oh, this is going to be
The Gemma incident was a useful dress rehearsal. As interest in the show increased, so would the problems of sending a housemate outside for treatment.
Yeah, they just took me straight to the medical centre, straight to the hospital, and no one was allowed to speak to me about anything other than, hi, how are you, and aren't we having lovely weather?
An accident in the final weeks of the program would have created serious security problems. Fortunately, the plans were never needed.
If somebody had said anything to me about the outside world, I wouldn't have been allowed back in.
House calls to the diary room were a much easier option, with the doctor under strict instructions to discuss nothing but medical matters with their famous patient.
Is it Gemma? Yay! Got a sling. So what's wrong?
I'm not allowed to tell you anything about anything out there, and you're not allowed to ask me or you'll get into trouble.
After the break, tested or tricked, the secrets behind the weekly tasks.
I know that I'm not a bad mum.
Secrets.
Hi, I'm Johnny. I got the lasso. Action.
What are you doing with this poor thing? Get it out of the water.
They provided some of the most memorable moments of the Big Brother series.
Hi, babe, where are you going?
I'm going out for a date with Eduardo.
Eduardo, the pool guy.
Yeah, of course.
Why? Is there something wrong with that?
No, not at all.
I could kill that bitch.
The weekly task set for the household, which tested everything from physical fitness to creativity.
The chat. Now, there's rumours going around the place that you happen to sleep with half the women in the show. What do you think about that? Are these true?
to mental endurance. It may have looked like simple fun and games, the housemates betting some or all of their weekly shopping money on passing or failing as a group.
It's time to announce the results of this week's task. You chose to bet 72.5% of the weekly budget on the outcome of this assault course.
That's right.
If you've succeeded, your budget this week will be $380.50. If you failed, your budget will be $60.50.
In fact, early in the show, some of the audience thought successfully completing the tasks was the whole point of the program. But the weekly tasks were much more than they appeared. Big Brother had a secret agenda. Each week, the challenge would be designed to achieve a certain result. Anything from simply altering the mood of the house
Keep going!
to revealing the housemates' personalities.
I had a bit of a look at the movie before, and
Yes.
it seemed that you were a neurotic character.
Yes.
Did you have to act like that, or were you really like that?
Yes, I'm not like that at all. I'm relaxed.
You're relaxed?
I'm relaxed.
You're relaxed?
I'm a relaxed person.
Big Brother had an entire games department devoted to dreaming up the weekly challenges. The head of the department was unofficially known as the Chief Psychological Warfare Officer.
Well, we looked at each contestant individually, and we found out as much as we could about their personalities or what they actually told us in the interviews beforehand. We looked at their jobs, you know, what they did, their ages, and tried to work out what we could do to bring out their personality. The dance task was an interesting one. Because the housemates are deprived of music, we decided to pump music in, and they had to listen out for certain songs and be on the dance floor within 30 seconds.
I just jumped back into that relaxed space I was in.
Whoa, I feel like I've been ripped apart. Not fair, I was meditating. Naughty.
For a control room producer, the music was the best task ever because we could finally manipulate what went on in the house. It was fantastic and it was a lot of fun. And Johnny meditating on the bed was absolutely crying to be picked on because he gets into a really deep trance, and you can't resist it.
Whether the group passed or failed the weekly task came down to assessment of individual performances. And Big Brother had the sometimes unpopular task of being the final judge.
Well, I failed it for everyone by one point.
No, it's not.
It is. That pissed me off. It's
Everyone's. No, it's not like that at all.
and to make me feel like the only one that didn't pass is different if 2 or 3 people. Oh man, they can so stick it up their hoodoo guru. I'm so wild. I'm going to bed.
We thought it'd be interesting to actually let's pair them up, and not only just pair them up for the week, but let's give them babies.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
They don't stop crying. They crave attention. You have to hold them. I mean, they may cry just for being held too much, so you don't know what you're doing. So we decided to give 3 babies to 6 people who had no experience with kids to see what they came up with.
We're compatible.
We just said the same name at the same time.
The baby task was designed for a number of reasons. Yes, it was designed to up the psychological pressure on them. It was also there because it provides good television in the comedy sense.
Because I said to Ben, let's be the best parents, and
let's pretend like we really are married this week. So like I reckon we sort of played it out pretty good most of the time.
Your kid.
Didn't you hear that?
Oh my God.
You guys hear that?
No.
I heard it. I thought it was yours.
I thought it was someone else's.
I'm just looking at it. I think 2 minutes. So bizarre.
In the baby task, Gemma was judged to have ignored her infant's crying once too often.
Gemma. Love and attention, 1 star.
Are you serious? 1 star. You cold bitch.
I thought I was lovely to it. Okay. Neglect, fail.
Oh my God.
Abuse, pass. 2-metre rule, fail.
Oh dear.
Ah.
I think we know who to blame this week.
Big Brother, the cheeky buggers, did that on purpose. I think they failed me on purpose. And we all actually do. All of us think that they failed me on purpose because they'd had such a strong reaction out of me that week and it had just died off. And the whole program is about reactions. That's what it's about. Good, bad, or indifferent. You know, they want a reaction. And because it had been so focused on me that week because of that, I think they were trying to see if they could spark another one. And I wasn't going to give in. I wasn't going to give it to them. I know that I'm not a bad mum.
We didn't call her a bad mother, but with the task did stipulate that you could not leave your child within a certain distance, and we do know how much care that you actually do give it. Unfortunately, she didn't come up on top with that one. So we had no hesitation in failing her on that one.
Oh, well,
it's all funny.
It's a doll, for God's sake.
It's all funny.
Sometimes a task could be modified to suit Big Brother's own plans. During the parenting week, all 3 couples were required to sleep in the same bedroom and then paint the second bedroom. The housemates didn't know it, but they were helping prepare the room for the $100,000 challenge that was being planned. And there was another chore Big Brother needed doing. A drainage problem had rendered the back lawn a muddy mess. So, as part of the family challenge, the housemates were required to re-turf it.
To introduce yourself like this. G'day,
After the break, the secret of Christmas in Queensland in June.
Secrets.
Christmas in Queensland in June. The original plan was to cover the entire garden with real snow, but shipping in the amount needed to cover such a big area was found to be impractical, so a foam machine was used instead.
Oh my God!
Jesus Christ.
This is Big Brother. Happy Christmas to all housemates.
But you can't make snowballs out of foam, so 1 van load of the real stuff was carted in from a nearby tourist attraction.
I was picking up snow in the morning, trying to get here before 6 o'clock so we could get the snow down before it melted. I get pulled over by the local Queensland coppers. Telling my story, I've actually got snow in for Big Brother, I've got to put it down, it's Christmas Day. And the guy said to me, he goes, yeah, I think I've heard them all, but that's a cracker. And he said, took my number plate down and said to me, I'm going to be watching tomorrow night. If I don't see Christmas in June, I'm sending you a ticket.
Like every event organised for the house, Christmas Day had an underlying purpose. While messages and presents from home reminded the housemates of loved ones in the outside world, they were also reminded that they were shut off from that world and the love and comforts of home.
Christmas Day. That was the best day of my life. It still brings a smile to my face. In the same way that things can be very sort of blown out of proportion in a bad way when bad things happen in the house. Also, on the opposite end of the scale, when something good happens, it's just like phenomenal. It's fantastic.
I can't believe this.
English!
Oh, my teddy bear. I got this when I was born.
That's fantastic.
Merry Christmas.
Big Brother started the Australian series with a secret it hoped no one would discover.
How was this week?
It was apparently short of housemates.
At about 9 o'clock, 2 new housemates will arrive.
Wait, not dogs.
On Friday, you, as a group, will vote to evict one of them again.
If you did the sums, like one inquiring journalist did, you would discover that the plan to evict a housemate every week for 10 weeks and leave 3 finalists in the house in the last week required the addition of another housemate somewhere along the line.
Big Brother's had this plan from the start.
You're toying with us, Big Brother. You're toying and playing with us.
The intruder scenario was first invoked with great success in the Belgian and Norwegian Big Brothers. The arrival of new housemates after the group had settled into its ways added new spice to the formula.
It was literally like I'd been sitting in my lounge room and I had walked into the television. It was weird. It was like some, I don't know, like I'd taken drugs or something.
Johnny's gay, Pete's taken.
And I won't be going this week.
I told you Stricko would come up this week. I remember last week. We're having next week.
The new arrivals were under strict instructions not to discuss anything about the outside world. When Rachel was evicted at the end of the week, there was only Anita left. If she was happy about that, she wasn't showing it.
I don't want my parents to see me crying.
Everyone feels the same way.
Believe me, my parents have seen me cry about 10 times on this show.
They'll be upset. I cried the first night I was in the house, mostly because I just didn't know where I was. It was it's unfamiliar territory, especially going in halfway. You're feeling very isolated and, you know, feeling kind of like, I'm not really meant to be here kind of thing. Thank you. I'm tired. I really didn't want to cry.
Now, the secret of Anita's tears can be revealed. She was suffering from nicotine withdrawal.
And I went cold turkey, no patches, no nothing. So that was really weird because I didn't know why I was crying until I got to talk to the psychologist, and she was like, "Oh, Anita, there's 10 days of withdrawal. You're on day 4. You've got another 6 to go through." So.
Because the Big Brother house had been declared a non-smoking house, smokers like Peter, Sarah Marie and Anita were supplied with nicotine patches and gum. Unknown to Big Brother, Anita had decided to go cold turkey. While Big Brother thought she was chewing nicotine gum, in fact, she was chewing regular gum.
All I wanted to do was contribute.
Yeah, you were contributing.
But I just write it out now. I can't believe I have to cry to you guys. I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm not strong enough to laugh.
I was really upset that night.
There's nothing worse than you having a really great time and then someone bursting that bubble. And the funny thing was that we'd all had a great time, but yet this one person was implying that we didn't have a good time, and it was like, well, where are you coming from? We all seem to be having a good time here, but where's your angle? So it kind of does burst the bubble a little bit, but at the same time, it's a team effort, so you have to make sure that the whole team feels good about it, and if they don't, you have to work out why.
Why does everything have to be going around like this and make me feel like an idiot? Or anybody else? Why can't you just be open and say what you feel?
What is it that we're doing to you that makes you feel the way that you're feeling now?
Like this.
What? I'm actually talking to you.
Just be honest.
I am being honest.
I mean, all I was trying to do was trying to contribute.
Ben, I will miss your humour and I will not miss your humour. It is funny once and it is funny twice, but the third time you could drive me mad. But you were fun. I was just being honest. I was just saying what I felt, but nothing was meant to hurt anybody. It was just all in the fun of it, and I can't believe Ben, and I thought he was a pretty mature guy, could actually take that I said he tells jokes a million times, and everyone says it. And I've met his family, and they agree with me that he would take it personally.
I had a chat with Anita since then, and everything's sweet. It was just she was just shocked to be in such a weird situation coming in halfway through. At the time, it just felt unnecessary at the time, and that she was saying those things, only in that situation where she said them. But it was everything's sweet. She just didn't react to the situation well at the time. But Anita's great.
After the break, secrets from the diary room.
And I love you to pieces.
Secret.
No room in the Big Brother house held as many secrets as the diary room, the only direct link between the housemates and the outside world. It was here, safe in the knowledge that the room was soundproofed, that the housemates made their weekly nominations.
Do I need to remind you about the rules?
Not exactly.
No, let's get it over with.
There were lots of things that happened in the diary room that you didn't see. The housemates had no way of knowing what Australia was seeing of them. The rule was that anything and everything that was filmed could end up being broadcast. There were numerous pleas to Big Brother not to show something.
I know you guys have got a job to do, and I know you'll show what you want to show, and you have the right to show what you want to show.
With filming going on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the voice of Big Brother would change with the producers' shifts. All but the most basic requests were met with a stock reply.
Big Brother will get back to you.
All right. Big Brother will get back to you.
Thanks, bye. Big Brother will have to get back to you.
Big Brother will get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, I've just come back to record this message now. I've got my lippy on. I can, please.
Another Big Brother rule was that there could be no opportunity for housemates to send messages to the outside world.
What I can say.
There was always the chance that the messages could be coded, and no such risks could be taken. Even birthday messages were stopped.
Hey Spunk, happy birthday. I just wanted to let you know that I'm thinking about you and I hope that you have a great day.
Mum, happy birthday. Today's July 9. I thought I would have been out there with you to celebrate your birthday. I love you to pieces.
As Ben's message was recorded in the last week of the show, after the final Tuesday night eviction, Big Brother made an exception to the rule. With the public vote for the Big Brother winner at a crucial stage, the birthday greeting wasn't broadcast, but a tape was made and passed on to Ben's mother.
And I love you to pieces.
And a final secret from Big Brother. Before the show started, many predicted the producers would cast for conflict. In fact, the opposite was true.
It would have been stupid to cast for conflict, and because the series has borne out the good sense of having a group who forms a group and who become close to each other and who share intimate thoughts with each other. Doesn't happen if you cast for conflict.
Is there anything you'd like to say to each other that you wouldn't mind us listening in on?
I'll say that I love this guy from the bottom of my heart, and if he wasn't here, I wouldn't have been here as long as I was. And
Gretel, I would have left a week into it if it wasn't for him. I survived because of him. He's my new best mate.
The winner of Big Brother is Ben. The first Big Brother will be remembered more for the friendships that were formed in the big house than the occasional arguments that flared up. In the end, Big Brother may have shown us that the ultimate secret, the secret of happiness, is learning to get along with each other, no matter how difficult the circumstances. Will we ever get over them? Scary Marie, Beautiful Blair, Johnny, Gemma, all of the housemates. Well, I have a final secret to reveal to you tonight. I have this sneaking suspicion that Big Brother won't be gone for long. That someday soon those spooky eyes will be back. And once again, Big Brother will be watching big time. Don't forget, you can catch up on the very latest Big Brother gossip on the Big Brother website at www.bigbrother.com.au.
Dreamworld, the home of Big Brother.